Let's take a look at Bitcoin. The crypto falling below 7,000 this week, back above it at 71.30 right now. But one major Bitcoin bull says it might be ready for a big-time breakout. Longtime venture capitalist Tim Draper doubling down on his prediction today that Bitcoin prices could hit $250,000 each in the next 2 years. Brian Kelly's at the Plaza. And I got to be honest with you, Brian, when the producers, we talked about this earlier today, I said, I don't know if we should talk about it because I felt like it was so bold, it's almost irresponsible. But Draper's, he's a well-known guy. Yep. He's not going to say anything he doesn't believe. So we went ahead and did this. I mean, is there anything that you're seeing that could make this bizarro prediction happen?
So, yeah, you know what? It sounds bizarro, but it wouldn't be out of the realm of what Bitcoin has done in the past. And so that's why I wanted to bring up this chart. And just to be clear, this is not my call, but I just want to take a look at what Bitcoin does. So the chart we have here is a log chart of Bitcoin since 2013. And as you know, Carter Worth will say, the lines draw themselves, but you have this channel going all the way back to 2013, and it's traded nicely in that. Now look at this. If you go all the way out here to the top of this channel here, that's about 200,000, 250,000. So Bitcoin just stayed in this pattern, and this is normal analysis that people do on all asset classes. If it just stayed in that channel, the top of that channel is around 200, 250,000. So that's the technicals behind it. The fundamentals, let's call it, is that if Bitcoin were at 250,000, that'd be about a $4.5 trillion market cap, which would be about half the market cap of all the gold in the world. And so I think Tim Draper thinks, and I certainly have some of this view, is that Bitcoin is going to take market share from gold. So if you think over the next 2 years, it could take 50% of that market share, then that prediction isn't too far out of whack.
Okay, not too far to walk. BK, come on back to the desk.
Back, big boy.
All right, so Tom, you've been obviously bullish on Bitcoin. I mean, and again, I'm not disrespecting Tim Draper at all. He's obviously an incredibly smart and successful guy, but is this one of those headlines you put out just to get news, or do you really believe this is something that can happen? Not you, but him.
I mean, I kind of agree with Brian. You know, when you look at this on a log basis, the idea that Bitcoin would get there would be consistent with the idea it's a generational trade. I don't know if 24 months is how long it would take, unless it would take 5 years. But if it took 5 years, I think it'd still be considered a huge, massive, surprising success.
200. Anybody?
Here's I think the point these guys are making. I would put it in different terms for a guy that's not in the Bitcoin market every day. The volatility you see in this asset class is so extraordinary that it's still been a great year for Bitcoin despite this pullback.
It's double.
People that have been playing in this asset class from the beginning are used to these kinds of moves up and down and are not running for the door, or at least not the dedicated folks. There's been a lot of folks that have run into this asset class and have run for the door, and I think that's probably the message in here.
I mean, let's not forget, Bitcoin was basically worth a penny for the first couple years of its existence. I mean, so it's had these incredible runs.
I think that's the point. It's not unusual for this asset class to move that much. Whether it gets there, we don't have any idea. But it's not unusual to see it. I mean,
and my beef with the call is not that I don't think that Bitcoin has value. It's that I wonder if that move down from 20,000 back down has just scared off, to Tim's point, so many potential buyers of the asset class.
I think it has, but I think we're probably washed out, right? And listen, you don't need to have a $250,000 price target to still do well in Bitcoin. If it went to 14,000, you'd double your money. I'd be very happy with that.
Yeah, if I was 8 feet tall, I might be in the NBA. I mean, if Wood could, right?
I don't know if you would.
Well, it was at.
I'm actually the world's worst basketball player.
Actually, but here's the point. It was at 14,000 this year. Right, so that is not that unusual. It was at 13.9 earlier this year. So again, these moves are extraordinary, but not unusual.
Anything else in the crypto space, Tom, before we let you go, that you like?
Well, you know,
any blockchain plays?
I mean, I'd still say if I looked at 2020, the easiest way to make money in crypto is going to be a position in Bitcoin. I mean, as you guys mentioned, it's actually done quite well this year. What's interesting is, crypto, especially Bitcoin, really does seem to be textbook in some of these systematic models. Like I think one of the best has been Tom DeMark's, sort of his combo counts. And if you look at it at these charts, at 13s, they've been turning points. And so Bitcoin's getting close to a high.
Mark Husko, Morgan Creek, well-known guy to this show, and Melissa and everybody. And I'm going to. He might be watching. If I screw up your stat, Mark, I apologize.
Of course,
his whole point and he's a wealth management guy and a hedge fund guy. His whole point is, if you just had 1 or 2% of your portfolio in Bitcoin, just 1 or 2%, you would have increased your gains. And again, I'm screwing up the numbers by a couple of percent a year. So you substitute 1 or 2% from some other asset class, and you would have increased your overall returns very nicely.
Yeah, and if I think regulatory opposition, which has been a dark cloud the last few months, if that diminishes next year, 2020 should be a lot better than 2019 for crypto. So
all right, good
maybe
stuff.
a good risk reward.
All right, Tom Lee, thank you very much. And bullish on the equity markets, 10+%.